Alright, so today, do I want some beers? Why not? I'll get me some cheap beers. Love my wife. I'm out here in the backyard. As you can see, got my fire going. My smoker grates burning off. It's my smoker. And let me go into the kitchen and show you what I'm working on coals to smoke. This is a 7.9 pound pork shoulder that I have seasoned again with roasted garlic and herb Montreal steak. And about 20 more minutes of this fire going, and it will be have enough coals to go up underneath of the smoker there. That's Bubbles' house right there. That's where Bubbles lives. It's funny, I can come out on my back porch and through that window there, actually no, that window there, while I'm having a smoke I can watch TV. They generally are like watching MASH or Blue Bloods. Anyway, I'll catch you while I'm getting the smoker hot. Alright, so this is the point where I pull out my old Trusted Beauty pitchfork. Temperature all the way down low. Nothing underneath them. Pull out my pitchfork here with some of these hot coals. Start pushing them up underneath. This would be a hot smoker, not a cold smoker. For a cold smoker, smoke will come up out of the chimney and go down into what you're smoking. But this is a hot smoker. So I'm looking to just put the hottest coals underneath there. See the smoke already starting to come through. Alright. Now I'm going to wait for this temperature gauge to be somewhere here in the middle. And I'm going to put my pig on there. Alright, so gotten up into the ideal range. Ideally, you like to keep it a little bit on the lower side rather than the hot side. I like to keep it right in here. Anyway, take that big old piece of meat, put it on the bottom grill, skin side up. That is where that guy is going to live for the next 8 to 10 hours, give or take. It's a all-day venture. We'll check back with it. All right, so we've been going for about hour and a half, give or take. Starting to look tasty. But then wait, look who showed up. He's hanging out. We're having some beers. Ooh-wee. Alright, it's been right at about 3 hours. You can see chicken. Might as well cook some chicken on the grill there while we're at it. Hold on a second. Alright, sorry about that. Had to pause the music so I don't get a copyright strike in the background. So I'm keeping this thing right about there. But I just threw a couple of chicken breasts on there because why not? You got the fire going. I got the grate over the top of the fire. And it's getting to be just about time to flip that bad boy over right there. So I'm going to go grab my Gemma fork. If you don't know what a Gemma fork is, you should watch Sons of Anarchy. And I'm going to flip that bad boy over and get that skin crispy. But then look who showed up.
Bubbles.
We've had Bubbles and Ricky in this video. The wife just took Ricky to the hospital because he jacked his leg up and I think he's got a torn ACL. Anyway, that is what 3 hours down will do. Now we're going to do 3 hours on the fat side. It's going to be some tasty shit. Yeah, that wood-fired chicken is done. However, that's not what this is about. However, that wood-fired chicken right there is going to make some fucking kick-ass tacos tomorrow. Perhaps I'll cover that. We'll see. Alright, so I've been out here in the yard for 7 hours now. I rolled it back over from the fat side to the side that I originally hit on the smoker. There's still good fire in there, and I could have made all kind of other shit. I could have probably put 3 of those things per shelf, and I have 2 shelves. And there's somebody in my neighborhood who sells these things. And I mean, I guess I could smoke pork and sell it, but that's not my agenda. Anyway, I'm going to take this thing off and take it into the kitchen. I'll catch you guys in the kitchen. Excuse me, in the kitchen. All right, so I'm not entirely sure if you can hear that. It is sizzling in the pan. Hello, bitch kitty. Way to let yourself in. Have a good day. Sizzling in the pan. This is the skin and fat side of the meat. Let's see if I can't flip this thing over here without burning myself. Fuck. Alright, other side of the meat. Tell me that ain't gonna have... I wouldn't step on you if you weren't under my feet, kitty. If that's not bark on the outside of that piece of pork. And when I let this thing rest for about 30 minutes, oh my god, it's gonna be so good. So good. Alright, so after spending nearly 7 hours in the yard tending the campfire, perfect thing to do to pass the time to let the meat rest is to go take a shower so you don't stink like smoke and barbecue anymore. Now, this is one of many things that I make that is Southern barbecue, although I'm not from the South. I'm originally from California. I make, as you can see, really good smoked pork. I make good collard greens. I make good green beans with bacon. I make hush puppies. I make fried okra. I mean, if there's a side that you would like to see, I mean, granted, if you've got a setup to get that kind of a bark on the outside of what you're cooking, you probably know how to make all of those things. However, I do have a killer recipe for collard greens. So, I've given this thing about, I don't know, 20 minutes to rest, give or take, and I'm just going to hack at it with the knife. Okay, and the first thing that you see, look at the bark. Alright, look at the bark on the outside of that meat. That is all smoke, that is all flavor, that is fully done in the middle. Cut a little piece off. It's still hot. I've just given it enough time to rest so that it doesn't spooge all over my cutting board. Dude. Oh my god. So, I can post dimensions for my fire pit. And I can go to Lowe's and get you the numbers for the bricks, although I think those bricks are only like $1.77 a piece. I got all those bricks for free. I got my smoker for free, but it's something that you can buy. I mean, it's all readily accessible. I mean, you could duplicate the smoker that I've got out there in the yard with the smoker tin and the bricks for probably less than $75, even though I got mine free. All of it was free. The bricks were free, smoker was free, the wood was free. And I mean, look at this fucking barbecue pork, man. All you gotta do is sit out in the yard and get smoke in your eyes all day and maintain a semi-consistent temperature. That's really all there is to it. And I mean, I prefer to serve and eat the pork that I make like this on the smoker, as they call naked. I wouldn't soon put any kind of barbecue sauce on this. Like I might do some sort of a like a chili vinegar. I want to say it's Texas Pete makes a vinegar that's got chilies floating in it that complements this. But if you spend all day, listen to that crunch! Oh my God! You spend all day smoking a piece of meat like this. The last thing you want to do with it is put barbecue sauce on it and mask the flavor, because you could have put this piece of meat in the oven, walked away from it, went yard sailing, Craigslisting, whatever it is you do on a Saturday, and came home and just pulled the meat out of the oven and put barbecue sauce on it, and it would taste exactly the same. So why you would mask this with barbecue sauce like that? I believe that was maple that I used today, maple wood. And I mean, this was an 8-pound piece of meat, 7.9 pounds, and it all comes together, and it's just, I mean, dude, look at the bark. Oh, it's on my thumb, but look at the bark on that. Now, if you spend all day smoking this shit, don't put barbecue sauce on it. Like, add some condiments, you know, maybe have some sriracha or something around so that you can squeeze a little dabble of sriracha onto a piece, but you still get that crunch and that deep, been on the fire for 8 fucking hours, you know? I mean, I am no pit master by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I'm just a fucking dude from Northern California, alright, who happened to move to South Carolina. Look at that, I even cut through the bone right there. That's how soft that is. I cut through the bone. Now, granted, you don't want to eat that, but still. You know, I have some formal training, but not in this. The majority of what I've figured out how to do, both with the barbecue, the smoker, and fire, I've learned from just watching the Cooking Network, or Food Network. So, I mean, if I could stress anything to anybody, watch the Food Network. You know, you'll learn to make good food if you pay attention, if you're attentive, and you're not afraid of doing it. The being afraid part is the biggest thing when it comes to trying to make new things. I mean, if you've never, I don't even know if my face is showing right here. Let me see. Should be. I mean, if you've never made something like this, like, it never hurts. You know, go out on a limb and figure out how to make something. I mean, it's worst case scenario, you wasted your day and you ain't got nothing to eat. You can always go to McDonald's. So, I mean, that being said, you know, take some chances in the kitchen. Do something you've never done before. If you never cooked with fire, you know, do something like the chicken that I made today. Just throw some chicken on the fire. Make some chicken. It's going to taste better. Explore in the kitchen. Do things that you're not comfortable with. Go outside of your comfort zone, you know? Even if it's something like making a box of macaroni and cheese, and well, you got some bacon, so put some bacon in the macaroni and cheese, you know? Just explore. Have fun with it. It's food. It's not complicated. Don't be afraid of it. And the less afraid you are of food, the better your food will be. Experiment. Fail. Make some nasty shit, because trust me, I've made some nasty shit in my day. But you never learn to make good shit unless you learn to make nasty shit. And once you figured out that that didn't work, that was gross, you'll learn how to make something tasty. Anyway, I'll be over here eating some of this bark. Oh my God. Peace out, Girl Scout.